Let's make it big.
Greetings, family. Welcome to the Sacred Podcast with Professional Women in Wellness. It is a sacred space where we explore what it truly means to thrive from the inside out. I'm your host, Karima, the creator of the T.E.M.P.L.E.S method, and this show invites women leaders, healers, and change makers to share their journeys of regulation, realignment, and rising into sacred living. Tonight, I have a very, very special guest. Sparkle Lindsay is here. Please introduce yourself and tell us how are you doing today on the Professional Woman in Wellness podcast?
Well, my name's Sparkle Lindsay, motivational keynote speaker, author, uh, and the owner of Sparkle LLC, the light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
My business is about 5 years old, and I am a woman in long-term recovery for 6.5 years. So it's been wonderful with the business where I actually coach coaches to walk alongside those battling mental health and addiction.
Mm-hmm.
As an entrepreneur, it has been wonderful to know that I've been around for 5 years and growing, especially being an African American, Indigenous, bisexual woman. I would say, they talk about this all the time, Karima, with
Yes.
entrepreneurs and after first year, second year, usually you're done, but that 5 years really meant a lot to me. So I've been busy with some new things for the coaches.
Yeah.
Have 28 curriculum. I'm consistently working on myself with recovery and everything else, and consistently speaking and writing books and doing all those different things. So I've been busy, girl.
You are doing the thing. First of all, you're such an inspiration because you've been in business for 5 years. That in and of itself, let's give you a round of applause for that. Pat yourself on the back for sure. So especially with that, right? And congratulations too on your recovery. I think it's remarkable. I am inspired by your journey and your story. So it's truly an honor and a pleasure to have you on tonight because you're going to give us a even different perspective because not many people, right, can speak on recovery from the place that you can. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So
yeah,
one of my first questions is, share a little bit more about your story, right? How did your season of burnout, stress, and overwhelm, become a turning point for you? And what did it teach you about yourself?
Well, I came from from three big, huge companies. Okay, so I was an HR executive for three big box retailers for 15 years as an HR executive. And so my stress management levels, corporate level, the company says that type of style, that vibe is where I came from since I was 24 years old.
Wow.
So taking on different stress and bringing that on and burnout was like a thing that you do.
Yeah.
If you weren't doing that, you weren't dedicated.
Okay. Exactly, right? Okay, it's the culture.
Yes. So that workplace culture stayed with me. So where my addiction really hit, honestly, it was not necessarily in the fact that cocaine and alcohol were my drugs of choice, but it was my workaholism. That's my root addiction.
Talk about it. Wow.
Yes. So the root addiction was the sense of urgency. We have to get it done. It doesn't matter. This is what we do. This is the way it is. This is what we deal with. You go home, you deal with it, you relax, you drink, you do whatever. But when you get in here and you work, you work. That's exactly how it was. And for the longest, I didn't realize I was using alcohol and addiction to mask those stresses, right? To mask my anxiety that I really didn't even know existed. So where it really hit me was when I first got sick. It was before I started my career. When I first got sick, was diagnosed with like 5 autoimmune conditions. I was in a wheelchair. We taught myself to walk, played 2 more years of college ball, and then I jumped into corporate America, where I turned down the WNBA for more money, because you know how it is for women in sports. We're getting there.
Yes.
And so I turned into this executive. I was highly motivated, innovated, all these things. I had learned it, and companies like that love athletes that are going to go in there and make it happen. So
Correct.
I went in, made it happen. 15 years later, so much stuff happened to me. The whole people using you to get to the top,
Yes.
right? The whole people wanting you to, that status quo. We'll do
Mm-hmm.
this for you if you do this for us. All
Correct.
of this stuff was going on, and it was considered a normal thing. And then I would say probably the last kicker for me was the employee who killed himself in front of me. And
Oh,
I
wow.
lost it. I lost it. I lost it inside. I didn't lose it outward to everyone, but I fainted when that happened. And
Mm.
I lost it because I started having nightmares, which made me say, you know what? I'm going to stay up. I'll just do cocaine until I stay up because I couldn't
Wow.
go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going back into work and kind of refusing therapy, where we came from. It was kind of a sign of weakness,
Correct.
especially in the African American communities, indigenous communities. Put the H on your chest and you handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's what I thought I was doing until it really started. I was having flashbacks and then I drink again and drink more just to keep it from happening. And then I
Mm-hmm.
started getting in trouble with the law. And then before you know it, I was sitting in jail. And I said, sitting in jail.
Yeah, man. Wow.
I
Come
couldn't,
on now. This is what it's about. Let's
and
get
I,
to the real. Uh-huh.
yeah, shoot. And I couldn't remember a number. Okay. I have a photographic memory and I could not remember one number to bail me out. And I
Wow.
remember sitting there and it was as quiet and as still as you could ever think. It still gives me chills. Um,
It's okay.
and the voice said,
Mm-hmm.
no one's coming. So
Mm.
what are you going to do about it? And I sat there and I was like, dang, I know I heard that. Sitting in some silence. And I did. I looked at myself and I said, okay, how long are you going to allow people to use you and abuse you? How long are you going to allow people to expect that you are the fixer?
Mm-hmm.
Being that person who needs to fix your damn self. Right. So I
Yeah.
got out, went back in 7 more times, by the way, and
Wow.
then realized it was time to make a change. So I got called into the office. I thought I was going to be fired. I just knew they were going to fire me.
Wow.
Sat down, and there was a piece of paper at the table, and everybody was smiling. It looked like it was fine. Sat down, and they said, turn over the paper. I turned over the paper, and it said, you're being promoted. 125K.
Wow.
And I sat there and I looked at them and I put my head down and I put it, I looked back up at them and I said, I'm gonna have to turn it down. And they
Wow.
said, why? I said, because I'm sick and I need help. I said, and no amount of money
Mm.
is ever more valuable than my life. I said, so I'm gonna have to turn it down and I gotta go take my life back.
Yeah.
So 6.5 years later, 6 years, 8 months later, here I am. And I went through a lot. I went through treatment. I went through getting to the deep, dark depths of my soul. And that thing I had in my mind that I was the one in that deep, dark cave. The deep, dark cave was in my mind, right? And then I had to realize that it was okay to be stuck in this deep, dark cave and then work and finesse the things we needed to get out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
there was people, as soon as I asked for help, people came running. They grabbed my hand, they helped me, they walked with me. And it felt like everything that I thought I had to do by myself, there were people there to hold me just for a
Yeah.
second. And as I was held, I started to get those bearings and I started to realize what my true issues were, the real root, my trauma,
Mhm.
the things that needed to be worked through. And I knew then there was no looking back after
Yes. 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 Yes.
that.
Wow. First off, I am trying to hold back my own tears because um, our stories
Hmm.
align
A
um,
lot.
a lot.
Yes.
Um, so I've been exactly where you've been
Hmm.
in that really dark place.
Hmm.
Yours was jail, mine was a mental institution.
Right. Hmm.
And I remember the same exact feeling because um, it was different in the sense that I had people to call, but I couldn't make phone calls. I
Oh,
wasn't allowed to,
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
right? Um, and it was in that moment for me, it was okay, how did you end up here?
Right.
First case that comes up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the voice that I heard said, because you haven't been honoring your temple.
Yep.
Okay. And then I'm now dialoguing with that voice, with
Uh-huh. Yep.
and for those who have been in that spot, you know exactly what it
And
feels
here's the
like.
thing, and that spot is the best spot to be in
It is.
because
Oof.
you are now being real with you. And
Exactly.
that spot right there is the sweet spot. And most people are afraid to hit it. But when it
Yes.
hits you and it chooses you, you are ready to receive it. That's exactly
Exactly.
what, and when it's happening to you, right? You be like, I know this shit ain't happening to me.
Word. Because it's like me, of all people, I have done this. There's no way I could be in this situation, right? Like,
Yes, this can't be me. Y'all
yeah.
talking about someone else until finally there's that surrender, those layers to your
Right, right,
surrender
right.
that say this. Listen, what you gonna do, boo? Because can't nobody do this but you. There's
Yes.
millions of people that can be around you, but what are you going to do about it? Right. And
Exactly.
then it comes, then the real layers, the shedding starts to happen. The beauty starts to happen. The words like honor and integrity, they mean so much more to you because you're falling in love with you.
Correct.
You
So
know,
now, in the falling in the love, right?
yes.
I birthed the temples method, which leads into my next question.
Yeah.
You're familiar with it. You know what I stand for, what I talk about.
Mm-hmm.
What was the work for you in starting to honor your temple? What did that look like? How did you move from survival mode into sacred living?
Well, I'll tell you, it was acceptance for what is. That that radical acceptance,
Yes,
like the stuff that you want to take back but you can't, and you
correct.
gotta
The
realize,
ugly parts of
yeah,
yourself. Yeah,
it was honoring the mess for
yeah,
what it is, and honoring it because it is us and it is who we are. And
yes.
when we honor the good with the bad, we have beautiful. And that's where, I remember you giving your speech on stage, and I remember
Yes.
you talking upon the temples, and us having a chance to even talk and be like, man, I feel like I'm looking at someone who's going through the
A
same
mirror.
journey. And it
Yeah.
was beautiful looking at that mirror, but I also knew that you had done the work. And it's no, like, it's a thing. Here's where it hit me too. Okay, so I'm sitting in treatment,
Mm-hmm.
and it's my first time ever in a meeting for alcohol and addiction, right? For
Okay.
that. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear someone say, 15 years and I'm right back in here. Karima.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first day in treatment.
Wow.
I woke up out of my, when you're out of it, because I'm still coming down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, what did she just say? She said, yep, 15 years and I'm back in here. And that was the moment when I said, there's
Not
more
me.
to this.
Yeah.
Something has to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
so I started searching to explore and be curious about what it was that makes people go back out, or what it is. And the point of it is that what is the symptom is the addiction. But what is important is the root. Why?
Mm.
The why to what I was doing, the
Yes.
why to the symptom. Well, the why was workaholism, OCD, being the fixer, no boundaries. I had to get those in check.
And those come from the T's, right? The
Yes,
traumas, the big
they
T's,
come
the little T's that I never deal with. And
yes.
then they come into expand and balloon into these other issues that you
And
don't
then
pay
what
attention to.
do? You
Exactly.
treat the symptom,
Yeah.
whether it's sex, alcohol, gambling, food, whatever it is,
Come on now.
and you mask it instead of
Yes.
literally sitting with it and becoming one with it and saying, it's yours, it's mine, it's ours, because it's ours. Now the
Yes.
emphasis is how we know that we manage that and control it in a way that helps us understand ourselves better, which soon
Yes.
helps love evolve. And now we can love ourselves because we realize that we're just human.
We are, and we all are struggling in some capacity with the same
Yes.
things. And it doesn't matter who you are. I keep trying to tell people,
Don't
I
matter.
talk about mine. You may not talk about yours, but
And
I
here's
know
the
you're
thing.
going through the same thing.
Here's the thing. Someone said it to me. Well, I don't really deal with the chemical addiction. I said, oh, okay. And then, they got into my classes, right? And they
Yeah.
go, I think I'm codependent. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, don't worry. That's your root, honey. This is the thing. The root part is that
Yeah.
dark core belief stuff that we tell ourselves to ourselves, but we never actually say what it is. And
Correct.
that's the part when you can start self-reflecting and tell yourself what you need to hear, because the
Hmm.
only person that can be honest with yourself is you. The problem is that we don't necessarily do that, but we know when we're lying to ourselves. And
Correct.
so the issue comes down to, we can lie to ourselves as long as we want to, but the after effects of that are only going to hurt us. So
Correct.
here's the thing: jump into it, get to know yourself, fall in love with yourself. And the best part about it is when you realize it wasn't as bad as you thought, because
It
that's
never
usually the
truly
hardest
is.
part.
Correct. And most times it's usually our own self-judgment that gets in the way of our own healing.
Yep.
We're so busy wanting to stuff it down instead of bringing it up to be seen.
Yeah, let me tell you, I say it like this: you mean to tell me that I ran from my emotions for years, and all I had to do was sit in it and become one with them? And
And
I would
cry.
be, are you kidding me?
Right?
What have I been doing? I've been running around drinking and hiding from this, and it's been a part of me this whole time. Why
Correct.
haven't I even acknowledged it? But
Yeah.
then we think about where society takes us sometimes,
Yes.
and
You
it
know what it
makes
reminds me of? You know
what?
how when children first recognize their shadow
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and they're seeing it and they're afraid and they're running and they're running and they're running, but the shadow is still there. That's exactly what this healing work is like. You can't run from your shadow, folks. If you're listening tonight, please understand
No,
shadow work is the gateway
do your work.
to self-discovery and healing.
And look, to the beauty. See, what
Yes.
happens is we don't even get to the beauty because we have this fear thing that feels like if we give in or if we're vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
then people won't like. Who gives a damn? Do you like you?
Yeah.
The question, the whole thing is, how vulnerable can you be with you?
Right.
And once you start to learn the ebbs and flows of who you are, you will never let go of yourself again. Because
Yes.
either you never knew who you really were, because that
Yeah.
was me. I didn't know who I was. I was this
Mm-hmm.
robot creating all this stuff for all these companies and doing all of these things and had no clue who I was. The moment that I started to do that, beautiful things just started to appear.
Yeah.
Everything was more vivid and I was more present, and I still am, to the things that I thought were worth my energy and time.
Mm-hmm.
They have completely shifted, and growth and evolution has is transpiring, which is beautiful every day too. Every
Yes.
day I'm like, no, you didn't do that.
That's what the beauty and alignment feels like, right? Once you do the
Yes.
work, it's smooth sailing. I don't want to say smooth sailing. There are you're gonna run
Oh no.
into the bumps.
It's bumpy as hell.
But
It's
but when
hard,
you
but
hit the bump this time, you don't resort to coping mechanisms, right?
no.
You resort to practices now that you know are gonna get you right back in alignment,
Yes.
like breath work, like meditation, like prayer, like
Mhm.
reading, things that edify you and build you up. So that's the
Absolutely.
difference.
Yes.
Um, so this is a perfect segue because you left the corporate space.
Yes.
I'm so curious to know
Whew. Mm-hmm.
While you were there, and even now, as you work with probably different companies, what do you think they are still getting it wrong about wellness, and particularly wellness for women? Like, what is missing? What is the missing piece in the corporate space with
Well,
honoring ourselves?
great question,
Yeah.
because I would tell you that the problem is that you can implement whatever you want, but if the action is not happening within the culture of the company, it will
Culture.
never change. The
Yes.
culture is, yeah, we'll put you in these classes for work-life balance, but we don't really mean it. So,
Come
so
on now.
you come out of that class and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do things different, and they're like, yeah, no, you're not. You're gonna go back out.
That's
And you're like,
got to
but
come
they
from the
told
top.
me they told me
Hmm.
to work on my schedule. We don't give a damn about your schedule. We got things that got to get done, right? Well, here's the thing. We also say, I think you've heard it in a few of my talks, and in the book I have, Self-Care is the Best Care, Level Up. Everybody now has made self-care a job. Self-care is supposed to be fun. So at
Yeah.
this point, you also have where corporate can make it a job. If you're not doing your self-care, then we'll write you up. If you're not doing, are you kidding me?
Mm.
This is a part of us that's supposed to be able to discover new things and be the best versions of ourselves through our self-care. And self-care is not the manis and the petties and all that. We can do that.
Correct.
Self-care is getting to the core belief of who we are, sitting with ourselves, talking to ourselves, getting to know who we are in a different level. It's
Correct.
taking time, right? But most of the time, corporate doesn't give us that time. And so I can tell you, coming from a companies that were like, we need to deliver and make our quotas and our numbers, versus being an entrepreneur now, it is totally different. I
Hmm.
can pick out my self care. I do have to make my own money. I have to do those things, but I can acknowledge and honor my time and slow things down just a bit so I can come back and always be a part of me. And
Yes.
so, what they haven't done is they haven't found a way to give people that time, and they don't realize that rest is key. You have
Hmm.
a restful employee, you have great numbers. If you're giving them what they want and what they desire by listening to them and
Hmm.
honoring how they're feeling, they will give you everything. And as a woman who has worked in HR as well, this isn't me just talking out of nowhere. Some
Hmm.
of the best people that worked for me and with me, I listened to them.
Hmm.
I led by being next to them and hearing what they were great at, and then valuing where they fit in the
Correct.
puzzle, and then watching them grow. And if they were tired, we let them have time off.
Hmm.
And when they came back, they were ready to go. So it's acknowledging what people are trying to tell us. And
Yes.
that's not normally what you get to do when you're in the corporate structure or any structure sometime, is say, I'm tired, I need a break.
Yes, or that I'm human, right?
Yeah, I'm
That more than
tired.
anything, it's like
I'm
I'm human. I'm battling emotions. I'm battling my own home life, right?
Mhm.
Depending on what situation they're in. Sometimes we forget that people are living lives outside of the organizational structures, and
Absolutely.
it's important to bring those conversations into positions of leadership to say, "Hey, I hear you. I see you. I
Mhm.
actually care about you. I have compassion for you." Just caring,
Well, here's the
being the human that we all should be.
exactly. I call it the gift of giving a damn.
Yeah, come on now. I love
That's all
that.
you got to do. Here's the problem. All we got to do is be kind and care. It's
Yes,
the hardest part to do. It's the hardest part for all of us to do. But those of us who have been through the deep, dark depths of a cave know that there was somebody who cared for us too. And
yes,
that empathy and understanding that you get from people who give a damn, oh, it's different.
it's so
It's
different.
different. And it hits right, and it makes you want to be there because you feel seen and heard. And
Correct.
most people, most leaders, people can say what they want to say, how you feel about leading.
Hmm.
I know some of the greatest leaders that I learned from told me to work with my people and through my people, and only
Hmm.
that. And if
Yes,
I can do that and work with them and through them by listening and hearing them, they
yes,
would be 10 times better at what they do, because we're putting them in places that they love to be in, not places we want them to be in.
Correct.
So I believe it would be really important for corporate or any other company to meet us women where we are at.
Yes.
And if you do that, we will tell you what it is. And now you don't have to guess.
Yes.
Now follow through with the action.
Excellent. So wonderful. So you be segueing it up. This is our last question, which is exactly how you ended this previous question. So now I want you to speak to the audience and whoever may watch this later on. What can women do to honor themselves? And what does honoring your temple look like to you on a daily basis?
Well, to me, honoring myself is mind, body, and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my routines stay the same, my rituals stay the same, consistency, stability, belief in myself, knowing I'm going to do it. Those positive affirmations in the morning. Who do you intend to be? Who are you
Yes.
entitled to be? What take those affirmations and throw them into action. But one of the main things is understanding your truth, stepping into your truth. If something doesn't feel right, honor it. If something feels great, honor it. If
Yes.
something feels off, say something. If it feels like you're being mistreated or your feelings are hurt, say something.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say something, don't say something in a way that feels like you're being attacked or you're the victim. Say something, stand in your truth, and tell the truth.
Yes.
And I think that's the biggest part for all of us,
Mm-hmm.
is that the way to honor your temple is to be honest with ourselves. And
Yes.
if we are pretending, then what are we doing?
Come on
Okay?
now.
Just stop with the pretending bullshit and get
Mm-hmm.
into the living.
Come
And when
on.
you get into living, your truth will set you free, no matter what it is, through honesty, courage, and wisdom.
Yes.
Mhm.
You close that thing out. Okay. That part about speaking your truth is the S
Woo!
of the Temple's method. You
Yes.
can't do this work without getting to a place where you truly know who you are,
Yep.
enough to stand firm in who you are and be
Yes.
able to speak it with authority, with
Hmm.
kindness, and with love. But
Yes.
this is what it's going to be, right?
Mhm. And I'll tell you,
Yeah.
truth, love, understanding, and integrity are all in one.
Yes.
And there's layers to it. And so when you just said it, when we talk about when I have learned to honor my truth, Karima,
Mm-hmm.
I have felt so empowered after. And the person I'm talking to, oh, they pay attention and they honor it too. They
Yes.
know when I'm pretending. And when I'm pretending, well,
Yes,
they
you
act
know.
like it doesn't matter, right? But when I'm
Exactly.
speaking my truth, they'd be like, "Oh shoot, here she go." This is, speak your
Yes.
truth, and that shows your courage, your wisdom, and helps
Yeah.
you honor every piece of who you are.
Well, 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 Sparkle. Man, you tore the house down tonight. I am so
Oh, goodness
thankful to
gracious.
have had you here. Please tell our viewers how they could connect with you.
Oh my gosh, you can connect with me at Sparkle Lindsay on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of the above. My website is sparklelindsay.com. If you or somebody else is feeling as if you guys may need somebody to talk to, please make sure you call the crisis line. If you want to talk, or you might need a coach, or if you want to become a coach, please give me a call. My number, my website, all of the above is on there. And if you just want to have a conversation, sometimes us as women, we just need somebody to talk to and
Mm-hmm.
really just be able to share our stories with one another, fall in love with one another as well, and grow forward. So whatever you guys need, I'm here.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Sparkle Lindsay, for joining us tonight.
Thank
To
you.
our listeners, remember healing isn't about perfection, it's
Yep.
about presence.
Yep.
Take one small step this week to reconnect, realign, and rise. If you love this episode, which I know you better, because this one was
No.
crazy, be sure to follow the show and share it with another woman who's ready to step into sacred living. I'm your
Absolutely.
host, Karima. And Sparkle and I are signing off. Thank you for joining us tonight. And
Bye.
we'll see you at the next episode, Professional Women in Wellness Podcast. Good night.